One of the college courses that I took that stayed with me the most was an introductory level anthropology class. And we studied and compared ancient civilizations, large and small, integrated or isolated, all grappling with, in their own ways, the large philosophical questions like, where did we come from? How should we be governed? What happens at death? What are the ethics of human interactions? The course is called Comparative Cultures. And so, although comparing the differences between these cultures was the main focus, what I was always struck by was the similarities, especially in comparison to the most common world religions and to our modern world. One culture that I looked at recently over the last few weeks was the Anishinaabe. And the Anishinaabe are indigenous nations located in the Great Lakes regions of Canada and America. The Anishinaabe peoples developed 7 sacred laws as the guiding principles for living in harmony with all creation, as a foundational framework for personal and community conduct. The 7 sacred laws were also known as the 7 grandfather laws, because obviously they were handed down through the generations by the elders to the youth. An early edition of the book we profiled at our last Zoom speaker series, How to Raise a Citizen, is kind of along with that, passing on how do you live in society. Anyway, these core ancestral values designed to foster a healthy, sustainable, and respectful life were not influenced by traditional Western, Eastern philosophies or theology. This was people who were isolated from the rest of the world there in the Great Lakes. But see if you recognize any of Justice Southbury in any of these 7 sacred laws. Respect, love, courage, honesty, wisdom, humility, truth. Those words have appeared countless times in our 308 rallies. The moral foundation inherent in those words form the core messages we promote. Love your neighbor, a more fair and kind community for all. Don't tolerate hate. Be kind and fair to all people. Love each other. That's not because Justice Southbury has some magical ability to figure out how people should treat each other. It's because the themes and values that Justice Southbury has borrowed from the best of humanity really do represent the best of humanity. From the great religions, from the great ethical teachers all over the world, values that are so universal that you can trace them back hundreds or thousands of years to groups of people as diverse as shepherds in the Middle East and lake fishermen in the North American Midwest. But just as these universal values, their moral core, form the basis for the best of human interactions, their violations undermine community strength. The opposite of these 7 sacred laws are the foes of the better angels of our nature. See if you think of any of this over the past decade. Instead of respect, disrespect, or simplistic criticism. Instead of love, hate, or indifference. Instead of honesty, lies, or misrepresentations. Instead of wisdom, willful ignorance, or closed-mindedness. Instead of humility, bragging, or self-focus. Instead of truth, a willingness to be misled. What we try to do here each week is to work towards those 7 sacred laws, the teachings of our grandfathers and our grandmothers, and to decrease the inclination to lapse back towards those opposites. Do we fall short? Sure. We're just as human as our imperfect ancestors and those imperfect Anishinaabe. But we want to try better. We want to be better. Now, be better. Where have we heard that phrase? Recently, the person who originally coined that phrase, the First Lady of the United States, gave a press conference at the White House to say that, quote, "Those who are lying about me and Jeffrey Epstein are devoid of any ethical standards, humility, and respect." For just a second, ignore the obvious irony of the person making this statement at this venue on this topic. Instead, think about the statement itself. Her appeal to ethical standards was an appeal to the moral core of the 7 sacred laws. She specifically mentioned 2 of them, respect and humility. So while I don't know exactly what our First Lady meant by be better, I do know the meaning of be better here on the corner. It's love your neighbor. It's a more fair and kind community for all. Be better for us means those 7 sacred laws: respect, love, courage, honesty, wisdom, humility, and truth. Those are the teachings that we have taught to or will teach to our own grandchildren. So keep on doing the best you can. Thank you.